Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. I have an amazing, to say the least, piece of UFO footage here that came into my hands, and from what I can tell, it's also been submitted to MUFON. And there's not a lot of information about this. What we do know is that it was captured in a place called Bavaria, Germany, which, for those of you who don't know, Bavaria is a state in the southeastern area of Germany, bordering Austria and the Czech Republic. From what I can tell from the email here, which roughly translated from German to English, reads, and I quote, "The video that you are seeing here was taken on the 23rd of August, 2017, on Road 301 near Seigenberg," and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a hilly, rural area on the far outskirts of Munich. I was driving to visit some family when I noticed a black object sitting in the sky. It says that it did not look like anything that he had seen before. At first, he thought it may have been a drone or maybe even a kite. The email goes on to say, "I watched this object outside of my window for about 5 miles straight before I decided to take out my camera and try to get a close-up of it." He then says, "This is where things begin to get scary. I took out my camera, I hit record, and almost immediately afterwards, the object disappears. I have never seen anything like this in my life, and the whole situation made me uncomfortable." He finishes out the email asking me to please edit out his face, which he records directly after. He doesn't want his face seen, and I understand that, so we'll focus strictly on the UFO sighting here. And yeah, as you guys can see, for the first time in a while, I'm actually lost for words. And so I guess we'll just go ahead and analyze this thing. So the viewer begins recording the object, and like he stated in his email, he zooms in on the object, and as I pause it here, a few things I'm able to deduce, right off the bat, is that the object does not look like a drone or a plane. It could say it was a kite, but kites simply do not dematerialize. If anything, I would have to say this looks more like a saucer shape. We could be seeing it from the side. I don't know, but saucer would be my best guess, or cigar-shaped, possibly. And as I'm zooming in on this, if you notice the object, it looks like it has a part that is, I don't know. The way I describe this video, it looks like the object is decloaking. Because as he begins recording, starting at the back area, the tail end of this thing, if it is the back end, it starts from the right, and it's like the thing starts going invisible from right to left. And the crazy thing about this is that you can actually see it happening, almost like a wall moving past this thing, where you can still see the outline of it, while the rest of it goes clear, I guess you would say, where you can start to see the sky behind it, but you can still see the dark outline of the object. And it reminds me of some of those fish in the ocean. There's sea life down there that can go from solid to see-through in a matter of seconds. Jellyfish have this capability, and it's, primarily used as a means of camouflage. So whether this object is actually cloaking or is just changing its surface to mimic the surrounding sky and the color of the sky, I just don't know. But, you guys tell me of a drone that you know of that can do this. And so the object almost completely vanishes to where we just see a small black circular point of light. And then, just like that, boom, it's gone. I don't know if it disappears or it blasts off in the opposite direction. It happened so quickly, I just have no idea. I can't tell. But as you just saw here, and one thing we don't really notice in the original footage, it only appears when we slow it down, is that as this object, right before it disappears, we see a flash of what it looks like blue light coming from whatever this is, this UFO, which, I have to say we've seen before. We have seen these strange, and oftentimes it's blue. And the way it's been described to me is that these flashes of light are not actually lights on these craft, but it's actually essentially a plasma discharge that occurs when an object either jumps dimensions or jumps into warp speed. You know, it's more like an after effect of the propulsion of these objects. And I mean, if that is what this is, I mean, I'm just telling you what I've seen before and what's been told to me. And yeah, this is just amazing, amazing UFO footage. So the big question now is, do we have some fans or some people who can get in contact with me in Germany who hopefully saw something similar? Now, I do realize that this was in a more remote part of Bavaria. It's sort of near Munich, but you never know. We put the word out there, and sometimes we don't get emails back, and sometimes we do from other people who witnessed it. And, you know, Germany has a well-documented UFO history, okay? It's not just all the United States. As a matter of fact, many of you may have heard of the TR-3B wave that occurred back in the early 90s, specifically 1992, over Germany and Belgium, where we had this mass sighting of triangular ships, very similar to what you would think today as a TR-3B. And these things were seen all over the place for a span of months. And as described, the craft, the giant craft, by the way, made no sound. It moved slowly, fearlessly across the landscape of Belgium. On at least 2 occasions, a pair of F-16 fighter jets chased the mysterious objects and was picked up simultaneously on 2 ground radar stations, reporting an object of unknown origin on their screens. One of the bases was NATO-controlled near the city of Glon, southeast of Brussels. And after contacting other radar facilities, they learned that at least 4 other stations were also reporting the object on their screens. And again, this continued on for months, with potentially thousands of people witnessing this triangular-shaped object. So, you know, could this be the same thing? You know, we don't have a very good view of this object. It could be on its side. It very well could be a triangular object, and we're seeing it from the side. So, amazing stuff. I really don't have much more to say on it, but for you guys to keep your eyes out. If you have anything similar, if you've seen something, let me know down below, all right? And keep sending in those sightings. So, stay tuned. I've got a lot more coming, and I will see you guys back in just a bit.